Hello and welcome to another video tutorial for Paramics Discovery 22. My name is Malcolm. This is the second tutorial in our series, and this one's really an extension of a feature which we introduced into Paramics Discovery 20, and you can find the original video tutorial for that on our YouTube channel. Now, I'm using the same model for this one today, and in the previous one we looked at Node 3 specifically because we were observing how vehicles from one side of the road could give way to the oncoming traffic on the other. Now, just to introduce this model to you quickly, we've got two zones in it for traffic travelling east and west. There are 500 trips between each zone, 1 and 2, and if I go to my Visualize tab, I'll just reduce the speed slightly and press play, we can see the traffic flowing. So there's plenty of traffic flowing in both directions in this model, and we're going to begin to look at how we can get one stream of traffic to give way to the other, and this time not just on the node space but also importantly over the link as well. So we're really extending the length at which vehicles can give way to one another, and we're going to show you how we do that with this feature. So I'm going to hone in on this link between node 6 and node 3, and first of all I'm going to move my curbs and lane points, and that's really to show that the road is narrowing along this section. So there's only going to be room for one vehicle to use this section of road in any given direction. So I'm moving my curbs in, and I'm also going to move my lane points in, so they're almost overlapping and using the same road space. So that's going to give us a good visual representation of what's going on. Now I'm going to be getting vehicles from the east to give way to those in the west. So I'll select my link at the east first, and opening up properties on the right click, and again like in the last tutorial I'm going to toggle on give way to oncoming traffic. Now you can see there that a red dot has appeared with the number 3 beside it, and the reason for that is because in our styles panel and the network review section we have give way to oncoming traffic toggled on. So whenever that's toggled on, it will show you where it's been applied in the model. And the number 3 relates to the path cross, and we'll come onto that in a little bit more detail later. Now the way to extend this over the link as well as the node is using a familiar tool to many people, which is look through. So this is used in different ways in our models, and it can be used again here for this feature, give way to oncoming traffic. And that means that the traffic's going to look through that narrow link in the middle onto the link beyond node 6. And so therefore it's going to give way across the whole link space and not just the node space. So by saving that and going back to my Visualize tab, I'm going to watch this in action. Now we can see the vehicles coming from the east are stopping and they are giving way, so that's good. It seems to be working quite well. But let's look a little bit more closely just to see exactly if we're getting the behavior that we want to here. Now I noticed there that the white vehicle and the yellow vehicle seem to use the link at the same time. Let's see if we can just catch another example of that. Okay, so again we've got two vehicles colliding at the same time. So I'm back in the Edit Network tab to look at a couple of parameters I can change to remove these collisions from my model. And the first one is visibility. I'm going to apply that on the link approaching the node 3. I'll set my visibility to 20, which is a common value that we use for visibility in models. And essentially what that is saying is that 20 meters back from node 3, vehicles will begin to look for their gap. That means they'll be able to maintain higher speeds if they do find a gap, and therefore reducing the likelihood of collisions. Now the second parameter I'm going to change is the path cross, and we can see by default that's set to 3 in this model. Now by increasing the path cross, I'm increasing essentially the distance that vehicles will give way over. And so there's a relationship between what the path cross needs to be and the length of the link that they're giving way. And it's a bit of trial and error now. I've increased it to 7, which I think will be about right for this length of link. So back in the Visualize tab, I can watch my vehicles, and I can select a vehicle to see how far they're giving way. So by selecting the blue vehicle there, I can see it's giving way to those on the other side of the link. And this is a good example because this is showing me that they're giving way over quite a long distance, and that's the path cross that's kicking in there. So by increasing the path cross, I'm increasing the distance over which they're giving way. And by doing that, I'm going to be removing those collisions that we saw happening in the first example. So as we run this on, I'll select another vehicle and just see the kind of gaps that it's looking for. So that one's gone through. And let's see if this vehicle picks up the blue one. There it goes. So it's picking up the blue vehicle. It's quite far away, and that's the increase in that path cross that's done that. So with this new feature coming in Paramics Discovery 22 this May, you'll have the ability to model vehicles giving way to oncoming traffic over a link as well as a node. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial. We'll have another one next week for you and look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.